Only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy.
Baby, imagine this mess. You roll out of bed, crust still in your eyes, unlock your phone, and every notification screams the same shocking headline. Cartoon dudes just slapped Rachel Zegler with a $100 million reality check. Yesterday, you were Disney royalty singing to squirrels, living your best fairy tale glow. Today, the timeline claims you hijacked Snow White, roasted its budget like marshmallows, and left the studio counting cinders. While you hunt for coffee, whispers drop that South Park's kings are cooking a spicy DI special aimed right at remake fever. Lawyers sniff opportunity, bloggers load cannons, and Hollywood leans in. Everything you built now balances on memes, court filings, and one question: can a cartoon really cost you your crown? Keep breathing, sugar, because the tea is boiling and every splash is coming for the front row. Over the next 10 minutes, you'll see how a late-night spoof snowballed into the most expensive punchline of the year, why streaming giants are cheering, and what happens when a princess tells the joke writers to lawyer up. Grab your popcorn. The first drop starts now. By the end, you'll decide who owns the laugh and who pays the invoice. Period. The Snow White remake was meant to crown Rachel's rise, but the glass slipper cracked before the ball. When the teaser landed on YouTube, comments erupted. Viewers groaned that dwarfs vanished, gowns dulled, and speeches sounded like corporate slides. Each new clip poured gas, and premiere weekend limped like a carriage with one wooden wheel. Trade blogs, hungry for blame, pinned the flop to the star satin collar. Rachel smiled through junkets, posted gratitude, whispered affirmations, yet every polite answer spawned meme remixes showing her as Devo-in-Chief. Keyboard comics joked she billed Disney for every eye roll, and Reddit tallied invoices for toxic positivity. Inside the studio, execs weighed reshoots while analysts wondered if nostalgia fatigue beat brand faith. Tension primed fans for any jester bold enough to slice the spin. Enter South Park, an institution that sniffs scandal like bacon. Trey Parker and Matt Stone saw the wobble and smirked. Soon a pastel kingdom flashed on screens, starring a phone-swinging princess live-streaming demands and singing about budget fires. The parody cranked headlines to 11, consultants replaced dwarfs, Apple Cards swapped for focus groups, and a chorus of dancing NDAs. Audiences howled, shares soared, spotlight beams intensified. Rachel weighed the usual playbook, shrug and move on, but exhaustion met exasperation. Somewhere near dawn the choice was made: this joke would not stand. Critics on talk shows dubbed the film message over magic, and hashtag Not My Snow trended while merch stalled. Families rewound clips asking who begged for gritty realism. By picking battle over breeze, Rachel turned a shaky remake into a saga, and Hollywood inhaled, waiting for Act 2. Investors watched the numbers dip, muttering about brand erosion, while theme park planners shelved a princess parade. Across gossip channels, the phrase Zegler backlash became shorthand for studios fearing their modern makeover missteps. When Sunrise hit Los Angeles, Variety blasted a headline: Rachel Zegler files $100 million defamation suit against South Park. Couriers hustled paper to the courthouse while paparazzi jostled for footage of embossed folders. The complaint read like a monologue, accusing Trey Parker and Matt Stone of turning parody into character assassination and torching a rising star's prospects. Lawyers claimed the cartoon's gags blurred into false statements masquerading as fact, scaring studios, brands, and streaming chiefs away from deals. Evidence screenshots showed trolls parading cartoon quotes into Rachel's messages, advertisers pausing negotiations, and one casting notes stating wait until the South Park dust settles. South Park's reply landed in 2 crisp sentences: parody stays legal, we will fight. Fans devoured the showdown like reality TV. Hashtag cartoon court erupted, memes of paper cutouts wearing silk ties flooded timelines, and late-night panels played the clip on loop. For Paramount, every tweet about liability felt like dry kindling near an open flame. Executives convened war rooms, balancing controversies draw against precedent's risk. Trey and Matt braced for depositions, yet still joked about setting the trial to music. Behind that humor sat real stakes. A loss could chill satire across American screens. From stand-up stages to newspaper cartoons, creators wondered if one verdict might muzzle years of punch lines. Rachel's camp framed the suit as necessity, not tantrum, an artist defending livelihood against reckless caricature. Cable news booked media psychologists and brand strategists predicting cultural doom or creative revival. The opening salvo was fired, courtroom lights warmed while every comedian in town checked their insurance riders. Precedent loomed, ready to reshape comedy forever. While lawyers traded barbs, Trey Parker and Matt Stone retreated to their Culver City bunker, the writer's room buzzing like a beehive on espresso. They were deep into the GI special, a two-part event set to lampoon studios that swap heroes for virtue hashtags instead of story. Early storyboards leaked, beloved adventurers recast overnight, townsfolk baffled as sidekicks read diversity scripts from cue cards. Fans devoured the rumors, sensing the episode would swing straight at Disney's remake woes and Rachel's headline heat. Rachel's legal camp viewed every leak as nuclear smoke drifting toward jurors. They filed motions warning that fresh parody would amplify damages, accusing Paramount of monetizing her distress in real time. Paramount countered that production schedules stopped for no tantrum. Still, risk officers drafted memos about escalation scenarios if the special aired before trial. Marketing teams, smelling record ratings, crafted teaser posters, silhouettes clutching flaming contracts. One artist tucked a tiny Apple icon into a corner. Internet sleuths screamed within minutes. The leak rocketed hashtag DEI special to the top of entertainment feeds. Rachel scrolled that night, watching fruit icons mutate into cruel jokes. Supporters urged boycotts, calling the show harassment disguised as humor. Critics clapped back that no topic is sacred. Morning meetings considered delays, but bean counters pointed to advertiser bids rising each hour. Trey and Matt joked that courtroom screenings could double as focus groups. Yet even they sensed new gravity. For the first time, they hired outside counsel to vet lyrics line by line. The creative rebellion that once ran on instinct now carried legal airbags. Change was tangible. Outside filings and cartoon drafts, the digital battlefield went scorched earth. One day the timeline screamed hashtag Team Rachel. The next it hollered hashtag Free the Satire, each surge fueled by memes. Joe Rogan ranted, asking if comedians now need hall passes. Bill Maher tossed glitter, joking that feelings became the new bureau. TikTok creators stitched reaction loops, lip-syncing cartoon verses while hashtags spun like slot reels. Fan art showed Rachel brandishing a C-scroll like a lightsaber. Rival art pictured Trey surfing subpoenas. A sneaker brand posted neutrality, then deleted after 20 minutes of fire emojis. Late-night ratings spiked as hosts milked drama. Ad teams thanked algorithm gods. Disney, still silent, watched sentiment graphs spike and dip like heart monitors. Internal memos urged execs to stay dark until numbers cooled. Meanwhile, comedians wondered if insurance for jokes would bankrupt tours, tweeting screenshots of writer hikes. Professors penned essays on the chilling effect, citing pamphleteers once jailed for satire. Every click, retweet, and clapback served as evidence or ammo. Rachel's lawyers flagged comments proving harm, compiling spreadsheets of nasty messages after the episode aired. South Park's defense bookmarked threads laughing at absurdity, arguing no sane viewer mistook paper puppets for journalism. The information war raged, a swirling daily proof that cultural battles now run on Wi-Fi and outrage instead of swords and shields. Influencers hosted live debates, selling feud-themed mugs. Podcast guests compared the suit to a boxing match where punches were metaphors and pay-per-view was retweets. Engagement soared, and everybody cashed impressions. Deep inside Burbank's castle, a different storm brewed. Though Disney was not on the paperwork, every subpoena rumor sent chills through marble halls. If Rachel's lawyers dug into Snow White finances, executives feared spreadsheets showing ballooning reshoot costs and awkward focus group notes about audience alienation. The prospect of numbers splashed on courtroom monitors terrified them more than any meme. Legal teams drafted motions thicker than grim anthologies, aiming to block discovery that might expose internal emails doubting the remake. The mouse stayed mute, while PR staff tracked dashboards set to drop a distraction trailer at first spark. Insurance brokers whispered about premiums on planned revamps. One verdict could jack costs across a division. Licensing execs worried park attractions tied to Snow White might dip if courtroom drama dominated headlines. Creative departments scrapped pitches too close to the tornado, fearing green lights might turn red under deposition glare. Rachel's camp framed Disney's jitters as proof the parody hurt more than ego. South Park's counsel argued corporate discomfort only highlighted satire's accuracy. Analysts on Business Channel's forecast ripple effects, pricier production insurance, cautious marketing, fewer bold remakes. Shareholders watched, calculators ready. Yet silence seemed safer than fuel. The company's greatest asset, magic, doubled as vulnerability. Any slideshow of internal panic could tarnish pixie dust for quarters. Lawyers advised execs to brace for witnesses calling producers, accountants, costumers to testify about budget chaos. The idea of gossip under oath sent shockwaves through animation campuses and break rooms. So the Titan clung to invisibility, hoping the clash would fade before subpoenas landed. Summer slid to fall and the court calendar locked a trial date, early spring. Entertainment lawyers polished resumes, longing for TV panels. Rachel walked red carpets promoting a small indie thriller, determined to pivot chatter toward craft. Yet every interviewer looped back to the lawsuit, each polite shrug spawning think pieces on celebrity fragility. Trey and Matt, shaping new scripts, slipped meta jokes into drafts yet stored them in a vault on attorney advice. Writers joked the vault needed a badge. Paramount's ad team sold premium spots around the DI special long before censors cleared cuts. Sponsors gambled that controversy would double eyeballs. Jury consultants studied meme literacy, testing prospects on satire detection. Media coaches drilled Rachel on calm breathing no matter how spicy cross-exams became. South Park side rehearsed their origin story, framing themselves as equal opportunity roast masters. Free speech nonprofits lined up amicus briefs, claiming laughter as civic duty. In cafes, screenwriters whispered fears that a massive payout might neuter Edge for a generation. Comics on tour slid quick bits about the case into sets, gauging crowd heat. By Thanksgiving, Hollywood felt award season tense. No gowns, just subpoenas and punchlines hovering. Security installed extra barriers, expecting superfans and protesters. Streaming platforms sought docussery's rights. An entrepreneur announced trading cards of key players. Pre-orders crashed his site. High school debate teams built mock trials, proof the saga seeped into classrooms. Everywhere you turned, the princess and the paper cutouts refused to leave the stage. Trial week arrived beneath the sky, so bright news vans needed double awnings. Crowds lined courthouse steps, some wearing cardboard crowns, others waving plastic towels for a certain talking rag. Inside, benches creaked under reporters clutching tablets. Opening statements framed the battle as dignity battling derision. Rachel's counsel painted a portrait of a young woman reduced to a meme that costs money. They recalled sleepless nights, canceled auditions, and a brand stained by cartoon exaggeration. South Park's defense followed with a satire history lesson, weaving Ben Franklin jokes and modern net culture into a free expression quilt. They insisted the episode was so absurd no reasonable viewer confused it with fact, noting the show singing poop emojis. Witnesses rolled through, media analysts, casting directors, psychologists measuring humiliation. A digital strategist testified the parody generated more search traffic for Rachel than any promo, an odd publicity boost. Cross-examinations crackled. Jurors chuckled, then winced. The judge told them to weigh evidence, not vibes. After days of sparring, closing arguments offered mirrors. Rachel deserved shield from reckless mockery. Satire needed air to breathe. Deliberations stretched hours. When the foreperson returned, the gallery leaned as one. Verdict, South Park not liable. Gasps and applause rippled. Outside cameras caught Rachel thanking supporters, voice steady, eyes glassy. Trey and Matt delivered a brief quip about going back to work, then vanished behind tinted windows. Analysts sprinted to live shots declaring a landmark nod for parody in the streaming age. Yet beneath celebration lingered one thought. Had comedy's price already risen simply by staging this spectacle? Today, the verdict rang like a cracked bell, echoing through studios, comedy clubs, and boardrooms. South Park kept its crown. Rachel kept her grit, yet everyone walked away altered. Lawyers updated boilerplates, comedians updated insurance, executives updated sensitivity budgets. Free speech advocates cheered, though some worried the next target might not afford $1 million fight. Rachel's supporters argued she lost the battle, but sparked louder talk on online cruelty. Trey and Matt's writer's room resumed business, yet every joke now passed an extra filter of legal what-ifs. Streaming platforms doubled down on disclaimer slides, brand managers drafted crisis plans for memes unborn. The saga proved that in the attention economy, laughter is currency with hidden fees. A gag aired on Tuesday can set courtroom calendars for years, and a single emoji can become plaintiff evidence. In the end, nobody escaped unscathed. Rachel gained respect among peers for standing tall, but scouts may weigh her name beside risk columns. South Park secured a win, yet the suit painted a target future litigants could trace. Hollywood learned to price satire like special effects, thrilling, expensive, potentially explosive. For viewers, the trial reminded us parody walks a knife edge, and cheering the slice means accepting occasional cuts. So as credits roll, remember the opening question. Can a cartoon really cost you your crown? Turns out the answer is yes, no, and maybe all at once. Thanks for supporting the Gossip Wire. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more of the hottest celebrity news online.